Imagine getting paid on Friday. Your paycheck hits your account. You feel great. You tell yourself, this month is going to be different. By Saturday, you've gone grocery shopping. Maybe you grab dinner with friends. You order something online because it's on sale. You fill up your gas tank. You pay a couple of bills. Then suddenly, it's only the middle of the month. And you're already wondering where all your money went. Sound familiar? If it does, don't worry. You are definitely not the only one. Millions of people work hard every single day, earn decent paychecks, and still struggle to save money. But here's something that might surprise you. The problem usually isn't that they don't make enough money. The problem is that they don't have a plan for the money they already have. Today, I'm going to show you how to build a budget that actually works. Not one that's complicated, not one that requires fancy spreadsheets, not one that makes you feel guilty every time you buy coffee. Just a simple system that helps you take control of your money instead of wondering where it disappeared. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to build a budget that fits your life, helps you save more, and reduces financial stress. Let's dive in. When people hear the word budget, they often think of restrictions. No eating out, no vacations, no fun, just saying no to everything. That's why so many budgets fail before they even begin. A budget isn't supposed to punish you. A budget is simply a plan. Think about it this way. If you were going on a road trip across the country, would you just start driving and hope you ended up at the right destination? Probably not. You'd use a GPS. You'd map out your route. You'd know where you're going before you left your driveway. Your money works exactly the same way. Without a plan, it wanders. A budget is simply the GPS for your paycheck. It tells every dollar where it needs to go before you spend it. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. One of the biggest myths about budgeting is that budgeting is only for people who are struggling financially. That couldn't be further from the truth. Many wealthy people budget, business owners budget, companies budget, professional sports teams budget, even governments create budgets. They do it because successful people understand something most people don't. Money grows when you manage it intentionally. Money disappears when you spend it without thinking. If someone handed you $1,000 and asked you to make it last an entire month, would you spend every dollar on the first weekend? Of course not. You would naturally prioritize what matters most. That's exactly what budgeting helps you do. Let's imagine two people. Both earn $4,000 every month. Person A has no budget. They spend money whenever they feel like it. They don't track purchases. They don't know how much they're spending on restaurants, subscriptions, or shopping. At the end of every month, they wonder why there's nothing left. Person B earns exactly the same amount, but before the month even starts, they decide where every dollar is going. Rent, utilities, food, transportation, savings, entertainment. Everything has a purpose. At the end of the year, who do you think has more money? It's probably not because one person earned more. It's because one person gave their money direction. Over time, those small decisions add up to thousands of dollars. That's the power of budgeting. Here's the part most people get backwards. People think budgets take away freedom. In reality, budgets create freedom. When you know your bills are covered, when you know you're saving money, when you know your financial goals are moving forward, you can enjoy spending money without feeling guilty. You don't have to wonder if buying dinner tonight will leave you short next week. You already know the answer because your budget tells you. That's real financial confidence, and anyone can build it. In the next section, we're going to start creating your budget from scratch by figuring out exactly how much money you actually bring in each month. Once you know that number, everything else becomes much easier. Step 1. Know your monthly income. Now that we've talked about why budgeting matters, it's time to build one. Every budget starts with one simple question. How much money do you actually have coming in each month? That might sound obvious, but many people don't know the exact answer. They know how much they make per hour or roughly what their paycheck looks like, but they've never added everything together. If you're paid a salary, this part is easy. Use your monthly take-home pay, the amount that actually lands in your bank account after taxes and deductions. If you're paid hourly, work different shifts, or have seasonal income, look at your last 3 months of paychecks. Add them together and divide by 3. That average gives you a realistic monthly income to budget with. If you have a side hustle, freelance work, or another source of income, include that too. But only use what you consistently earn. Don't budget based on your best month. Budget based on what's reliable. Remember, a budget should be built on real numbers, not optimistic guesses. Step 2. Write down every fixed expense. Now that you know what you're working with, it's time to list the bills that are usually the same every month. These are your fixed expenses. Things like rent or mortgage, car payment, insurance, cell phone, internet streaming services, loan payments. Go through your bank statements or billing apps and write every one of them down. Don't rely on memory. It's amazing how many small monthly charges people forget about until they see them on paper. This isn't about judging your spending. It's about getting a complete picture of where your money is already committed. Step 3. Estimate your variable expenses. Next come the expenses that change from month to month. These include groceries, gas, dining out, entertainment shopping, household supplies. Unlike your rent or phone bill, these numbers can go up or down depending on your choices. A good place to start is by looking at your last 1 or 2 months of bank statements. How much did you actually spend on groceries? How much went toward restaurants? Did online shopping cost more than you realized? The goal isn't to make these categories perfect on day one. The goal is simply to make them visible. Because once you know where your money is going, you can decide if those numbers match your priorities. Step 4. Pay yourself first. Here's one of the biggest mindset shifts you can make. Most people pay everyone else first: the landlord, the credit card company, the utility company. Then, if there's anything left, they save it. But here's the problem. There's usually nothing left. Instead, flip the order. When you get paid, move a portion into savings before you start spending. Even if it's only $20 or $50 each paycheck, you're building the habit of paying your future self first. Over time, that habit matters far more than the dollar amount. Small, consistent deposits can grow into an emergency fund, a vacation fund, or even the down payment on a home. The important thing is to make saving automatic whenever possible. If your bank lets you schedule automatic transfers, use that feature. The less you have to think about saving, the more likely you are to stick with it. At this point, you have the foundation of a real budget. You know your income, you know your fixed bills, you've estimated your flexible spending, and you've made saving part of the plan instead of an afterthought. But even with all of that in place, there are a few common mistakes that can quietly ruin a budget before the month is over. In the next section, we'll cover those mistakes, and more importantly, how to avoid them. Mistake number 1, trying to make the perfect budget. One of the biggest mistakes beginners make is believing their first budget has to be perfect. It doesn't. In fact, it probably won't be. Your first budget is simply your best estimate based on what you know today. Think of it like learning to ride a bike. You don't expect to hop on for the first time and ride perfectly down the street. You wobble, you make adjustments, you learn. Budgeting works the same way. If you overspend in one category this month, don't quit. Adjust the budget next month. A budget isn't a test you pass or fail. It's a tool that improves every time you use it. Mistake number 2, forgetting about irregular expenses. Here's something that catches almost everyone. You budget for your monthly bills. Then your car needs new tires. Your pet has an unexpected vet visit. A birthday comes up, or the holidays arrive faster than expected. None of those are surprises. They're just expenses that don't happen every month. The solution is simple. Create a category for irregular expenses. Set aside a little money each month, even if it's only $20 or $30. That way, when those expenses show up, they don't wreck your entire budget. Planning ahead turns emergencies into inconveniences. Mistake number 3, not tracking your spending. Creating a budget is only half the job. The other half is checking whether you're actually following it. Imagine planning a road trip but never looking at the GPS again after you leave home. Eventually, you'll take a wrong turn without realizing it. The same thing happens with money. Take 5 minutes every few days to review your spending. Many banking apps automatically categorize purchases, making this easier than ever. The more often you check in, the easier it is to stay on track. Mistake number 4, giving up after one bad month. Everyone has an expensive month. Maybe your water heater breaks. Maybe you have unexpected medical bills. Maybe you simply spend more than you planned. That doesn't mean budgeting doesn't work. It means life happened. Successful people don't throw away their budget because of one bad month. They adjust it and keep going. Consistency beats perfection every single time. If you stick with budgeting for a year, you'll learn more about your finances than most people ever do. Mistake number 5, forgetting. Why you started budgets become much easier when they're connected to a goal. Saving for a house, paying off debt, taking a vacation, building an emergency fund, retiring comfortably. Without a goal, a budget can feel like a list of restrictions. With a goal, every dollar has a purpose. Instead of thinking, I can't buy this today, you start thinking, I'm choosing something bigger for my future. That mindset shift changes everything. Quick budget checkup. Before we move on, ask yourself these 5 questions. Do I know exactly how much money I bring home every month? Have I listed all of my fixed expenses? Am I tracking my variable spending? Am I saving something every payday, even if it's a small amount? Do I have a financial goal that keeps me motivated? If you answered no to any of those questions, don't worry. Now you know exactly what to work on. Remember, progress matters more than perfection. In the next few minutes, I'm going to give you a budgeting challenge that takes less than 10 minutes a day, but it can completely change the way you manage your money. By now, you know how to build a budget and avoid the most common mistakes. But knowing isn't enough. The real change happens when you take action. In the final part of this video, I'm going to give you a simple 30-day budgeting challenge that you can start today. If you complete it, you'll have a working budget, a better understanding of your spending habits, and a solid foundation for reaching your financial goals. The 30-day budget challenge. Now that you know how to build a budget and avoid the most common mistakes, it's time to put everything into action. Knowledge is powerful, but only if you use it. That's why I want to challenge you to do something over the next 30 days. Don't worry. This challenge doesn't require expensive software. It doesn't require complicated spreadsheets, and it definitely doesn't require you to stop enjoying life. It only requires about 5 to 10 minutes each day. If you can commit to that, you're already ahead of most people. Week 1, learn where your money goes. For the first 7 days, don't try to change your spending. Just observe it. Every time you spend money, write it down. It doesn't matter if it's a cup of coffee, a tank of gas, a grocery trip, or a streaming subscription. Write down every purchase. At the end of the week, review everything. Most people are surprised by at least one category. Maybe it's eating out. Maybe it's online shopping. Maybe it's convenience store stops. Whatever it is, awareness is the first step toward change. You can't improve what you don't measure. Week 2, follow your budget. Now, it's time to use the budget you created. As you go through the week, compare every purchase to your budget. Ask yourself one simple question before you spend money. Did I plan for this? If the answer is yes, enjoy it. If the answer is no, pause for a moment. Sometimes you'll still decide it's worth buying. Other times, you'll realize it's just an impulse purchase. That 5-second pause can save you hundreds of dollars over the course of a year. Week 3, make one improvement. By now, you've started to notice patterns. Maybe groceries cost more than you expected. Maybe you're spending more on restaurants than you realized. Or maybe you're paying for subscriptions you forgot you even had. This week, don't try to fix everything. Just improve one thing. Cancel one unused subscription. Cook one more meal at home. Pack your lunch for work. Reduce one unnecessary purchase. Small improvements repeated every month become life-changing habits over time. Week 4, review and adjust. Congratulations, you've made it almost an entire month. Now ask yourself a few questions. What worked well? What was harder than expected? Which category surprised you the most? Did you save money? What would you change next month? Remember, your budget is a living document. It's supposed to change as your life changes. A good budget isn't one you never edit. A good budget is one you keep using. The bigger picture. Here's something I want you to remember. Budgeting isn't about becoming rich overnight, it's about reducing stress. It's about sleeping better because you know your bills are covered. It's about having money ready when life throws you a surprise. It's about creating choices. Every dollar you save today gives your future self more freedom tomorrow. Financial freedom isn't built with one giant decision. It's built with hundreds of small, smart decisions made consistently over time. That's exactly what budgeting helps you do. Final challenge. I want you to do one thing today. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Today. Open your banking app. Look at your income. Write down your monthly expenses. Create your first budget. Even if it's messy, even if it's incomplete, start. Because a simple budget you actually use will always be better than a perfect budget that only exists in your head. If you found this video helpful, let me know by hitting the like button. It helps more people discover the channel and tells me to keep making videos like this. I'd also love to hear from you in the comments. What's the biggest challenge you face when it comes to budgeting? Is it saving money, impulse spending, keeping track of expenses, or just knowing where to begin? I'll be reading the comments and answering as many questions as I can. And if you're serious about taking control of your finances, make sure you subscribe to DIY Finances. Every week, we'll cover practical strategies for budgeting, paying off debt, saving money, investing, and building long-term wealth, one step at a time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.